welcome to an informal conversation between therapists at the Help to Adjust podcast, where we deal with issues of psychology, equity, and inclusion. Tonight, although we're not doing a formal podcast recording, I have somebody who I believe is an ingenious helper of people through therapy and self-empowerment. Our director, a consummate professional, Steven Harvey. Welcome.
Appreciate you, Don.
Steven, I mean, around relationships, what are some of the main things that you see, and what are some of the interventions you use?
Got it. Great question. One very key thing is approach. You know, a lot of times when working with couples, individuals try to they come to their spouse wanting to convert them over into their way of thinking.
Yeah.
So, in other words, approaching your woman saying, forget about what she's thinking, she need to know this. Or the woman say, forget about what he talking about, he need to know this. This is what he need to get in his mind, and vice versa. So no one wants to feel bullied into thinking a certain way.
Absolutely.
So I always share with couples, adjust the approach from that of a converting or force-feeding approach to educational. When you come to your spouse, hey, you know what? I just want to be educated on how you think. Because the more educated and learned I am of my partner's way of thinking, I can engage you more intelligently. Like, that should be noted, like data that I'm using to move forward more intelligently.
Absolutely.
You know, and I noticed when couples are able to make that simple change in approach to each other, it lends itself to a safe space where both people feel like they can divulge their feelings and not feel like it's going to turn into an argument or be attacked.
I always say, if you're talking about these conversations between couples, it is the content is possibly less important than the process of your communication. The content is possibly less important than the process of your communication, because when you communicate in a way that is, as you inferred, questioning, learning versus forcefully putting down a point of view that if the other person doesn't believe what it is that you're saying or act in a way that's in accord with what you're saying, somehow they're not a good person or they're not doing the right thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's one. Another one is focusing more on the reasons why you love and appreciate your partner. Because, Don, there's literally been times where I've been with couples and both individuals can run down a laundry list, very detailed, of what their partner is annoyed with about them. But then I say, do you know why your partner loves you? You say, no. Other one?
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
But they have at the forefront of their minds what is annoying to their partner about them. So I always, in my sessions, you know, when I say, hey, how was the week? How did things go? Hey, listen, I know we're here to deal with tough issues, but let's also shed some light on some positives that you saw from your spouse, right? Hey, you know what? I appreciated what my husband did this and said that. You know what? I appreciate what my wife did this. People love recognition.
Affirmation.
Positive reinforcement. Isn't that what we do with our children?
Absolutely.
But we tend to lose that sometimes with, relationships. So that's another one, that positive reinforcement, so that your partner can play to that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I always take it back to from a therapeutic point of view, what might be considered very basic, which is no blaming. You know, when you have a different perspective about something, you believe that 1 hour of TV is enough for the evening. Your wife is more relaxed about the TV watching. She's letting them watch an extra hour. You all sit down and think of a solution not a way to show that you are so lax, you letting things go, you're not running a tight ship. That's why he does that, talking about the children. That's why she's not doing this, because the moment you start to place blame, you're actually putting distance. So if somebody went to swing at you, what do?
Put your defense up.
You
block,
put your
and look to
defense
swing
up.
back.
You block, and then you
then
swing back. Right. So that's exactly what is happening, when we communicate in a way that we are criticizing each other rather than building each other up and then trying to find solutions, solution-oriented communication. And we could deal with that at length, but it's important.
Definitely. And I mean, I think that goes into a lot of couples really don't know how to navigate having certain discussions that need to be had, but it's not a compliment. So if a spouse feels a certain way about their partner, I need to speak on this because it's bothersome to me.
Right.
How do I approach this discussion without my partner feeling attacked? So, I like to liken it to when we're on the jobs, that same professional mindset that we have of how to bring, say, hey, husband, wife, sometimes ask your partner, hey, how can I bring something to your attention without you feeling attacked? I just want to have a conversation versus an argument, right? So, having your relationship be conversational versus argumentative. Some couples say, oh, well, you're going to argue. No. There should be zero arguments. Zero. Your whole relationship should be conversational. Because no value ever comes from an argument. An argument is like a verbal shootout, right? And that's just a lot of hurt and pain coming away from that.
So what are the standards that you live by, or what do you abide by in a shootout? Nothing, right? Yeah. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Anybody could die. Anybody could be hurt, and there's no holds barred. And that is, exactly what you don't want in a relationship. Furthermore, ladies, let me say this. I truly believe this. If you have to teach your man the basics of any aspect of life, you may not be compatible with that person, because I really believe that, relationships are about partnership. And if you have to teach the other person, it goes the other way around too. If you bring someone into your life and you have to teach them, especially men will actually learn from you possibly, and then walk away and go to somebody who they can be an equal with.
Definitely. That makes me think of a lot of clients I've had that have been in relationships that did not work out. And they were with that person for 80% potential. And only about 20% actual,
here and now, what was happening.
Yeah, actual, content or demonstration. So I always say 80% is too much, right? To be in a relationship with someone. 80% potential.
Right, projecting what the person will do. Right.
Yeah, so, I say, let's flip that. It should be about 80% actual demonstration. What is actually, happening? Is this individual showing improving certain things?
Yep.
And then 20% potential, but 80% potential is entirely, you have some people, practically the whole relationship is on what someone could be or should be.
Yeah. So
we got to look at what is the person actually doing, and let's make an assessment based on that, not what you think they should be or what, the potential you see in them, because that is, just wishful thinking. It's not tangible. It's, So let's not base our life off of something that is so, wishful, right? It may
Yeah.
come, may not come. We don't know.
Right, because love is a gamble as it is. But if you are hoping for someone to do what you wish they would do, that is your wishes and not necessarily what they
They
are
say
going to
when
do.
when someone tells you who they are, believe them. So whatever your partner is showing right now, that is what it is. Don't add anything extra to it. Oh, they can be this. Go off what is the demonstration that you see right here in your face. So that's another, kind of strategy to make a decision on whether I need to stay or go. But back to the professionalism piece and conversing, one quick, simple strategy is whatever you have to say to your partner, if you were on the receiving end of that, how would you want that to be brought to you?
Correct.
So think about it. And if that answer is yes, then by all means, go for it. Right. So in other words, you have to tell your partner, I don't like the fact that you spend so much time with your friends and not me. I feel excluded. A partner can feel attacked. Oh, are you trying to take my social time away from me? So if that had to be stated to you, how could it be brought to you in a way that you would be receptive to it? You got to reverse it.
Yeah.
And then think, if my partner had to say this type of thing to me, how could it be stated in a way that I would respect the approach and not feel attacked? And I think that's a great principle to live by, because a lot of times it's easy to give it.
That's excellent.
But it's a different story when we are on the other end of that same approach.
Right.
So therein is the double standard. We got to look to keep it consistent so no one feels.
And the rule of thumb with that is, I feel blank. State what it is that you feel when something happens. So if I say I feel stressed, upset when you come in at 4 a.m. 3 times a week, then it may not be easy for the other person, but it will be something that they can hear because it's how you are feeling. So you're not saying you are acting like a street person. You're not characterizing them. You're not criticizing them. You're saying, this is what I feel when this happens. And what I would like is if you would consider and whatever that other course of action is. If you don't mind if they go out on Saturdays, but you don't like the fact that they're out on Saturdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, then that might be a fruitful conversation to start there.
Got it. I like to also share with couples, don't leave any room for assumption with your spouse.
Yeah.
Do your best to bring them into what is going on in your mind so that there is no assuming. For example, one that comes to mind is you may have a husband and wife. Husband just likes to say, hey, babe, I'll be back. I'm going out, I'll be back. Okay. Wife says, hey, where you going? About how long you think you're going to stay? So husband perceives that as wife trying to micromanage, put tabs on me. I don't want anyone controlling me, clocking me, hawking me. Come on, you need to know where I'm going. I'll be back. All right. I don't need a parent. But valid, all right, valid way to think. But then wife is actually not thinking like that. Wife is thinking more security. My man is out the house. I have the children. I have some things I need to do. So I just want to know approximately what time he may be back so he can relieve me and I can get some things done for myself. Or safety. Women are very safety, security based. A guy is more thinking, hey, I'm gonna go out. I'm not, fearing anything, right? A woman is like, hey, my husband is leaving the home. Hey, where you going? How far are you gonna be? Right?
Correct.
So that has to be expressed. Where a guy might be like, oh, why are you asking me? So now, let's wife say, hey, listen, I'm just asking you because this, and this. And then that's husband too has to take responsibility and say, hey, okay, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you ask me, it comes off to me like you're looking to really clock my moves and hawk, just kind of be a micromanager. See, these are the conversations that we have to start to let our partner into what's going on in our mind.
Sometimes it's that reprogramming, because if we came from an environment where being controlled was very important, somehow you were being controlled a lot from your own perception. When you have your own family, your own life, you don't want to be controlled anymore. And so, as you said, there really needs to be conversations that you can debrief and unpack that with each other, because if you're not understanding each other and the assumptions are there that the other person is trying to take something from you, as you inferred, that's going to be troublesome.
I like to share with couples, explore it before you run with it. If you think that your partner is doing something, having a certain intention, okay, that may be valid. Explore it first.
Say more about that. How do you explore it first?
By saying, hey, wife, hey, husband, when you said this, when you did that, to me, it comes off like this. So you're not just tagging the person saying, you know what? You selfish for doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't call me. You know what? You're this. Right? That's running with it. You
labeling.
You labeled it. You assume that you knew. Oh, well, it's obvious. They see I'm here for like 2-3 hours. Obviously, it's not so obvious. It could be something else going on in your spouse's mind that could be valid as well.
Right.
So let's not get the accusing, the blaming, and let's explore it. And say, hey, wife, hey, husband, look, when you did this and when you said that, to me, from my standpoint, it came off like this.
That's right.
Give your partner an opportunity to explain, that's not wasn't my intention. What I was thinking was such and such and such.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, now I understand how my husband was processing. Oh, now I understand how my wife was. And we need to take that information to note it, to engage our partner more intelligently moving forward. Now, next time, Don, I may call my spouse to cover them and appease them and say, hey, listen, you know what? I just want to let you know this, that, and the third, to appease that feeling that they may have.
That's right.
Right? We take that information to use it to engage our partner more intelligently.
That's right. Wife, partner, husband, significant other. All of the significant relationships can really benefit from this information. Yeah. Thank you very much, Steve.
Appreciate it. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Just in a few minutes, a lot of insight.
Definitely.
All right.
Pleasure.
Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Help to Adjust Counseling. Good night.